I'm gonna give you 4 key exercises that you can use to improve your agility and your jukes, and we're gonna start right now. All right, so when we're thinking about agility, we have to focus on applying a large amount of force into the ground so that we can decelerate quickly, so that then we can accelerate quickly out of that cut, okay? So all of these drills are gonna be looked at through that lens. We have to be strong enough, which we're fortunate. We've got Cooper Lutz here, who is the team captain at Syracuse for the football team, and now he's just transferred to Vanderbilt. One of the things that Cooper has that makes him so good is that he has a ton of strength and a ton of power output that helps him decelerate and then accelerate out of that cut really well. So all these drills have to look at how can we pause or how can we slow down the fastest to then accelerate the fastest out of that position. And so agility and juking is really going to come down to those concepts, right? It's how can we stop as quickly as possible and then accelerate as quickly as possible out of those cuts. And these are those key drills that you can use to juke the shit out of your opponents. When Cooper was in high school and he was coached by New England Patriot Jason Esposito, Cooper could single leg squat like 350, okay? And so this is an exercise that sort of will highlight that ability. We're gonna be doing a 2-yard jump, so a double leg bound essentially. You don't have to do 2 yards. We're gonna do a double leg bound and then a stop on 1 leg. And so what this will do is it's gonna prepare us for cutting. It's gonna prepare us for stopping and being able to change direction rapidly. So we wanna decelerate as quickly as possible. So Cooper will go double leg bound to the 2-yard line, land on your left leg, and then we'll do another one on the right leg. Boom, good. Rotate it inside a little bit.
On the left again? Or right?
Other leg, yeah. Okay, so in real life, right, what this is gonna show us is it can sort of determine, all right, his right leg's a little bit weaker right now. You jump off your left leg?
No, I jumped off the...
I mean, if you do a layup, how do you jump? Okay. Good, that was more stable. Now one more on the right. Yeah, good, that's perfect. So you can see like Cooper might be a little bit weaker on his right leg. And actually when we did our high speed video, you could also see that a little bit when he was doing his hip switches and his skips. But that just tells you, that gives you really good feedback. So now we can use this and say, all right, an exercise that transfers really well from the weight room is going to be single leg squats. So if we have a problem with someone who struggles with that deceleration, we can use single leg squats to try and get rid of that energy leak that happens on his right leg. What's up, coach? How are you?
Yeah, I have a torn meniscus. That's actually why.
On your right leg.
I have a system.
That actually would make sense.
Yeah.
So Cooper's got the hydro weight. We're gonna make this even a little bit more advanced. You can go like a yard and a half probably, and then put that out and try to really pause there. And what this can help teach him is to drop his center of mass and get his weight behind his planting foot, which is what you'll see the best running back when they're cutting. Basketball players, same thing. When they go to cut, their center of mass is gonna be behind that plant leg.
Am I bringing it to the side at all?
No, just keep it here and then push out. Yeah, good. Maybe go a little more. Okay, give me one more on the left. Like that far, yard and a half. Good, perfect. So I recommend doing this. You know, you could do 5 or 6 sets, 2 to 3 reps on each side. Add in that hydro weight as you progress through and you feel a little bit stronger. Hold up, guys. We all want to be fast or else we wouldn't be watching this video. So why not be faster when paying at the register? That's exactly why I recommend using the wallet provided by today's video sponsor, Simply Carbon Fiber. This wallet is sick, it's sleek, it's modern, and it really does a great job keeping all my foreign currency readily available whenever I'm traveling all throughout the entire world. It's also made of carbon fiber, so it's extremely durable, but they don't just have wallets. Simply Carbon Fiber has phone cases, sunglasses, watches, keychains, rings, jewelry, you name it, they have it. So click the link down below and head over to simplycarbonfiber.com/GarageStrength and you can use our code GS10 for 10% off your next order of any Simply Carbon Fiber product. Don't forget, GS10 for 10% off of all Simply Carbon Fiber products. Now, let's get back to getting as fast as we possibly can with Cooper out on the field. Okay, so now Cooper's gonna go into our second key exercise, and this is simple, this is easy. You've got 10 yards, we're gonna do just 10-yard sprints. And as you work through it, you wanna think about a couple key things. You wanna focus on driving forward as long as possible, okay? So if you can drive forward and project yourself forward, that's gonna trigger the amount of energy that you're putting into the ground over that 10 yards. And that's gonna decrease your time. So ideally, we could measure over a 10-yard time frame or a 10-yard distance, how many strides Cooper takes to cover that 10 yards. And then by the time we get to the third or fourth rep, that's gonna be slightly less, which means he's running a little bit quicker. 7 was right on the 10. So it took him 7 strides to get to the 10-yard line, but he did slip. We'll do that again. One of the things too to remember with acceleration and with jukes, with agility, if you can cover that 5 yards, 10 yards extremely fast, that means you're probably gonna be able to cut really quickly and you can decelerate quickly based off of our first drill and then accelerate out of that. So 10 yards is like the perfect time frame, the perfect distance to increase that speed, that acceleration. See you, coach.
Yes, good luck.
Yeah, thanks. Okay, so now he hit 7 at the 10 and a half. That was better. You hit 7 at the 10 and a half. So think about when we were doing like the switches, those drills, think about driving the hip forward. So it's like as you're driving forward, you got to retract quickly from the hip to cover a little bit more ground with that swing leg. So that's going to be one of those key factors here. See if he's a little quicker with his hip and driving the knee a little bit higher on the first 2 to 3 strides. Okay, so he hit 7 at 11, just a little bit past 11. So that's a lot better. That was his third rep. And we're already seeing less strides over that 10-yard distance. And remember, guys, if you watch the 100 meters, okay, you watch Marcel Jacobs win the Olympic title, he knows how many steps he's taking, how many strides he's taking in that 100 meters. So that's how we have to look at the 10. That's how we have to look at a 40. You should know approximately when you're in peak condition, how many strides you take to cover a 10 or to cover that 40. Fucking drive that knee, quick fucking hips, and fucking push the earth away. Okay, just a little bit past the 11. I'd say he planted like right here. Okay, so that the third one, it was like his heels here. Fourth one, he's here. So any little bit of distance is gonna make up a lot of time when we're talking about a 10 or a 40. So try to find that baseline of how many strides you typically will take to cover a 10 yards in this case, or 10 meters if you're on a track. And then over time, as you get better with technique and you have a more productive impulse, okay, so you have more force being applied over slightly longer period of time, that's gonna lessen the amount of strides you take to cover the 10 yards. Dude, what the like, dude, I've met you like twice in my life. Okay, so we're calling this is, how about the staircase Cooper hurdle drill? That's too many words. How about the staircase Cooper drill? Think about the first 2 exercises. The first exercise, right, was just stopping as quickly as possible. Second exercise was applying as much force as possible over that 10. And the 10, yes, will transfer to max speed, to acceleration and max speed, but it's also the key metric that you need to use for acceleration out of cuts. Okay, so now we're actually gonna be working on specific cutting drills. So we're gonna go forward, cut, forward, cut, forward, cut. And that's gonna help us transfer this over to that athletic world. So if we're playing basketball, if we're playing soccer, or we're playing football, this is gonna be a really good drill to help your footwork and your foot speed to then get your shin angle in position to juke your opponents. Do you think I could do that, Cooper? Espo, can you do this? Did they have you do this when you played for New England?
Now my knees are just
Cooper, how's your right side here? Oh, you do have, okay, so before we discuss this, this is Cooper's weak side. He has a torn meniscus. Oh, okay. All right, Coopy. And I think that's dude, that's really good. And I think about, you know, Cooper's a running back. So if you're getting the ball here and you're coming to the line and you have an idea of who you're playing and what their tendencies are in that situation based off of what defense they're running, now you can scoot really well based off of, you know, your vision, and then trying to find or understand where those cutback lanes are going to be. And that's where this drill is going to carry over really, really well. So the fourth exercise that we're gonna use is an angle run. So this is similar to running a curve for sprinters, but for football players or for basketball players, think about you're getting a sweep and you're trying to get to the edge. So we have to have very good speed to get to that edge and learn the skill of running on that angle. And now the other aspect here is if you get the edge and then there's a cornerback or a safety out along the sideline and you have to cut back in, you're gonna be able to use this skill along with the first exercise where we focus on stopping to actually make that plant and cut to juke your opponent and then ideally take it to the house like Cooper did against Notre Dame. So Cooper's gonna show us here on the grade curve, you know, 1 rep over, we can rest for like 30 seconds and then 1 rep back. Good, that's really good, that's really good. It's like trying to be smooth, understanding that your center of mass is gonna be leaning inside of that inside leg. So you're gonna be pushing a little bit more with the glute, a little bit more with the glute med actually as you're cutting, and then the same way coming back. And you're gonna be able to see if it's a little choppy on one side relative to the other side. Again, that's gonna be something that you can use the eye test for and then plan that into your strength work along with that agility and speed work. Cooper's pretty fast. So use these, I would use these especially as a running back, linebackers, safeties, use this once a week just so you get used to trying to cover a little bit more ground. It's gonna increase your agility. It's also gonna transfer over to that max speed. So use these drills to improve your agility, and remember, focus on this once or twice a week. Try and feel those positions, count your strides, that's gonna pay off, and then really focus on decelerating as quickly as possible and accelerating as quickly as possible. And if you need help, click on the link down below, head over to garagestrength.com and you can pick up our Agile and Hostile program that's gonna help you to become more agile as an athlete. And remember, freaks, if you wanna become a champion, you've always gotta cultivate your power. Peace.